I feel like we just got to get into it today because there's a few things we need to talk about. But you know what this is? It's Hardly Minding My Business, and I am your host, Dashing D. So, I'm getting old, y'all. I'm getting old. My birthday was last week. I turned 36. I'm happy to turn 36. I'm happy to get older. Let me point that out because I know some people fear getting older. I do not. I have always embraced getting older. One of the reasons is the older you are, the more respect people have for your opinion. The more people think of you as an adult, right? Which is kind of obvious, right? So I've never had a problem getting older. In terms of my birthday itself, it was a really good birthday. I can't complain. I spent my birthday, my actual birthday, just kind of really peaceful, really chill. Didn't do too much. It was just me. Normally, it's so funny because I used to think that in order for me to have a good birthday, I needed to be around other people, or at the very least, I needed to be traveling or something like that. Now, I will say this, I did travel on my birthday. I didn't travel very far. I went to Philadelphia, and I was there for the afternoon by myself, but it was such a peaceful day. I have no complaints about having that time to myself. I feel like I needed it. I didn't do any deep reflection or introspection. I kind of did that over the course of May. I kind of, thought a lot about where I am, where I'm going, what I want. And I just feel like that's the normal thing that happens when you have a birthday coming up. But I definitely feel like it was such a peaceful day. All I wanted to do was just chill. I did really simple things like give myself a manicure and whatever. I just didn't want I didn't want to do a whole lot. I knew that I was gonna have a jam-packed weekend. I'll get to that in a second. But I took my time to myself, and I felt good. I felt really, really good. And I realized that no, I didn't need anybody else to be around for me to have my good time, or just for me to feel peaceful and like I had a good day. I remember this one birthday. I don't remember. It wasn't my 25th. My 25th, I got drunk at what is that place? Fat Black Pussycat. If y'all know Fat Black Pussycat, I'm pretty sure it's still there. This bar, I went with two of my guy friends. I didn't really have plans that day. Nothing was going on, and I remember going there, and they were egging me on to drink Hennessy, and I don't drink Henny. Didn't then, don't now. And I just remember getting so sick and having to run to the bathroom, and you don't want to know the rest. But the point is, I can't remember what birthday was. It doesn't really matter. I remember I had a birthday some years back, somewhere around there. So maybe it was my 24th birthday, where I don't know. I didn't make any plans, and nobody made any plans with me, and I wasn't really sure what I was supposed to do with that, and I ended up feeling really crappy all day. I remember being well, does anybody give a shit about me? Is anybody gonna do anything? Should I do something? At some point in the day, I remember my cousin calling me, which, a funny story about my cousin, actually. I remember my cousin calling me and asking me what I was doing. Where was I going? She was, I don't know, she was a little bit older than me. She was like, oh, you must have these super fun plans. And I remember saying to her, girl, I don't have anything going on. Simply do not. I'm just here in the house doing nothing. I don't even think I was 24 now that I think about it, because it was a weekday and I had nothing to do. I want to say that was probably my 23rd birthday, where I didn't have a job. I had just finished college. I had nothing going on. 22, 23. I had nothing going on. I was just figuring out how to live on my own in New York. And I had no job. So she ended up saying, okay, come meet me here. We go to this restaurant. I'm pretty sure she was dating this guy that worked at the restaurant or did promoting for the restaurant or something like that. We ended up having dinner on them, and that was kind of my night. And I remember just feeling like crap that day. Once I finally got settled with a steady job, I at some point was like, I'm just gonna travel for my birthday, because then I don't have to rely on. There was also a series of birthdays where things were just kind of like, oh, this was okay, but don't really care for it. And eventually I was like, I'm just gonna travel for my birthday. I haven't done a whole lot of that the last couple of years. I've kind of stayed close to home for various reasons. But the sentiment remains the same. The point of it is that you should be doing exactly what you want to be doing, even if that means you want to stay in bed all day. So I did exactly what I wanted to do last week. And I wasn't deviating from that at all. I just wanted to do what I wanted to do. And that's what I've learned is most important when it comes to birthdays. Do what you want to do. If you want to do nothing, do nothing. If you want to do everything, do everything. And, feel good about it. They come around once a year. So if you don't get it right this year, or you're, not feeling too great about how it went, you could do it next year. And honestly, growing pains. You kind of figure out who you are and what you want over time. And that's the point that I'm trying to make. I'm happy to be the age that I'm at. I'm happy to be where I am in life, to the point where I don't feel crappy just chilling out and being with myself. So yeah, I had a great birthday. Let me actually get into what I really did. The reason I went to Philly. So I went to Roots Picnic last weekend. I decided to pop into Philly on Friday so I could get settled in, be ready for the weekend, before my travel companion joined me. And I did the whole weekend at Roots. It was really fun. Okay, let me tell you who the headliner was if you haven't seen it yet. Usher performed. Y'all know how I feel about Usher. I love me some Usher. I was very excited to see Usher. Very, very pleased. Although I will say I am still itching to see him at his own show, because of the fact that, the mic situation at Roots Picnic was a little weird. Everybody's mics were lower than they should have been, which was really, really strange, including Usher. And they kind of tweaked it and turned it up halfway through, but not enough. Especially because with Usher, people were singing along, okay? And when I say people, I mean everybody. So it was like him competing with the audience, which I get, but then your mic needs to be higher. So I got to see Usher. I was really excited about that. Who else did I see? I saw a bunch of different acts. Ari Lennox was there. State Property was there. If you want to know exactly who was there and what happened and how it all went down, you know where you're going to find that. It'll be on Let's Have a Real Conversation, which we actually dropped an episode today called A Day Late and a Dollar Short. So go check that out. But anyway, yeah, the birthday was good. Had a very full and packed weekend. So that was nice. I don't have any complaints. I don't. It was perfect. It was what I needed. And that's really it. I'm happy it went that way. Like I said, I don't require too much at this point. Oh, let me tell y'all about what happened. All right. So remember the cousin I mentioned a few minutes ago? Bet. Okay, so I had to get to Penn Station in order to get to Philly, right? So I get on the train, which is going to take me directly to Penn Station. I get on, I have my overnight bag, I have my my tote bag with me, I'm ready to go. I get on the train. I sit in, if you're familiar with transit, I know a lot of people who watch this are from the New York area. If you're not, a lot of times the trains, the New York or the New Jersey area, I should say, a lot of times when you get on the train, there's like a two-seater here and a two-seater across the way near the doors. So that's exactly how this was. So I get on the train and I sit in a two-seater. I look up and I see someone across from me, and actually on the train I was on, it was a two-seater here and a one seat over there. It doesn't really matter. But attention to detail is really important to me. So when I miss a detail or I mistake a detail, I have to correct it. Anyway, so I see this person and I'm looking at them and I'm like, wait, I know this person. Is this who I think this is? And I'm looking and I'm looking and I'm looking, and the person locks eyes with me, and like they're trying to process also, and kind of at some point realize, okay, maybe I know this person. My issue was I had never seen this person's hair this way. So I'm looking. And I'm like, I think this is my cousin. I just want to be clear. The same cousin that I just mentioned a few minutes ago. We haven't seen each other in years. And we haven't spoken in years either. But I was pretty sure it was her. I said, oh my goodness. So I get on my phone and I like start texting my mom. And I'm like, I think so-and-so is on the train across from me. She was like, well, yeah, it's possible, you know, such and such. She started giving me some details. She's like, yeah, that seems possible. I was like, By the time I looked back up, she was covering her face. She takes her bag. Well, she had her bag on her lap. I guess she was going somewhere for the weekend too. I don't know. But she had her bag on her lap from the time I had gotten on the train. But what I noticed she did was she pulled out her phone and she like put the phone behind her bag so that she could put her head down. And because her bag was like sitting tall in her lap, it was covering her face. And I'm like, well, that's the easiest way for you to show me that we actually know each other, because you're hiding from me. So I send another text and I'm like, I think she's hiding from me. I'm not really sure. And again, her hair was very different. So I was like, maybe I'm making this up, because, ooh, is she really hiding from me? I don't know, y'all. I was having a zen day. Like I said, it was my birthday. And I was having a decent day, and I didn't want to disrupt it by anything. So I was like, well, let me see if we make eye contact again. If we make eye contact again, I'm going to say something, because why not? I kept looking. She never once pulled her head back up. The next time she pulled her head up was when she got to her stop. And she got off the train, and I got a good look, and it was damn sure my cousin. What a funny thing to happen. I don't really know what to do with that. I just said, oh, okay, well, you know, go on, girl, then. Because what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I honestly don't remember why we don't speak. I don't think her and I ever had a problem. I don't know. It really doesn't matter. The point is, I was just like, oh my goodness, she's hiding from me. That was my takeaway. But you know, whatever. I wish her well on her future endeavors. But yeah, that was my birthday. And my birthday weekend. Very eventful birthday weekend, as I said, and I had a wonderful time. So that is all that matters. We need to move on to petty or not, because speaking of my birthday, one of the things that is true about my birthday is that I was born in the spring, the season of spring. And for some reason, people have forgotten that this season that we're in right now, according to science, is spring. According to science, it is spring. I don't know if I just live on the internet way too much. I don't know if I just be in the internet streets too much. But why does everybody think it is summer? I've heard so many people make reference to the fact that we are in summer. And I'm confused because summer doesn't start until towards the end of June. That hasn't happened yet. Today is June 11th. Spring is still very much here. Still very much here. Why are we rushing? This is not summer. And summer is very exciting, especially if you live in the New York tri-state area. Summer is a wonderful time, especially because we do, in fact, have real seasons due to the weather. So when summer comes, people get excited, people are outside. And honestly, if you've never had a New York summer, you might want to get you one, okay? Summer in New York City is delicious. It is delightful. It is lovely. It is magical even, okay? If you have not had a New York City summer, you should have one. All the things that you see on television with people, talking about how they had such an amazing marathon summer night, those are real. Those are real. Maybe some of the details are phantasmic, but that is a real thing in New York. Something that we pride ourselves in, and I don't technically live in New York, but something that we pride ourselves in is our summers and our winters, because it's just different. It's just different. And I am excited for summer. I'm not excited for the heat, the weather we've been getting, this like 70 degree, mid 70 degree weather where it feels perfect in the middle of the day and it cools down at night. That is my type of weather. I love the spring and I love the fall. In terms of weather, I don't need anything else. But the reality is summer will come and it will get hot and we will have our time. But it has not happened yet. And I don't understand, why are y'all so committed to this being summer right now at the beginning of June? When did that happen? Is it just that y'all didn't listen in science class? Like, what? I don't understand. I thought it was, the first time I heard somebody say it, I was like, oh, maybe they just don't realize. And then I heard a bunch of other people saying it, and I was like, but why do y'all think that? Why do you think it's summer? It's gonna be summer. I guess for, kids and maybe teachers, those who have already gotten out of school, maybe that's what it is. Maybe those are the people who are like, oh, it's summer because summer vacation has already started. Other than that, what's the problem with the rest of y'all? Anyway, that's my petty or not. Learn the seasons. They actually have dates. Learn them. You can Google. You can just type in what are the seasons or when are the seasons, and it will tell you. Anyway, We have a few things to talk about today. All right. A few things. Nothing crazy, but a few things we need to get to. Now, I know this episode is late, like weeks late, but also normally I would drop episodes on Fridays. This episode is going to drop Sunday, Monday. So there will likely be an episode this Friday. So anything that I did not cover right now will be covered this week. Don't you worry. I will say though, there are a couple things I'm not going to talk about. I'm not going to talk about the fact that Trump was indicted twice. Or the fact that he's running for president, or the other 8 Republicans that threw their names into the ring. Also, I'm not talking about that. I mean, for what it's worth, I'm not talking about Biden putting his hat back in the ring also. Nor am I going to talk about his fall. Yeah, I don't want to talk about that. I'm also not going to talk about Jonathan Majors and Megan Good. I don't know what's going on with that. I would rather not know. There's certain things that I just don't want to know. And I don't think anything has been confirmed as yet. So I don't want to know. And I don't want to talk about it. I guess we'll probably have things to talk about with Jonathan Majors later in the week, because his his court date is this week for his domestic violence charges. But outside of that, I don't know. It's weird. Kind of hope it's not true. But anyway, not gonna get into it. What we should talk about is Miss Blue Ivy. Miss Blue Ivy Carter. I know you guys have seen it by now. It's hard to miss any Beyonce related content right now because she started the European leg of her tour. Not much to say there. I mean, there's been a lot of video that has come out. You can certainly look it up and, you know, do with it what you will. I'm sure there's people watching right now who have tickets to go see her. I do not. Y'all know that I'm not the girl that's gonna be you know, waking up in the middle of the night to buy Beyonce tickets. That's no shade. But anyway, Blue Ivy has been killing it. I just want to point out that Blue Ivy is 11 years old. 11. Some of you could never, okay? This young lady has been getting up on that stage and killing it every night with her mother on tour. I am in awe. I don't know what else there is to say, but kudos to her. I heard people were talking shit. She's a child. She's a child on stage with her mom. What is there to talk shit about? She's not a grown woman who like is trying to take up a career in background dancing and can't. And I just want to point out a lot of them moves, some of them things that she's doing up there, a lot of people can't, okay? Whether they are 40, 30, 25, whatever it is, can't do it. She is 11 years old and she's getting up there in front of millions of people, and she is, millions is a large, tens of thousands of people. She's getting up there in front of tens of thousands of people and dancing her ass off. And I love it. I'm not mad at it at all. Good for her. Did y'all hear about Remy Ma? She did an interview where apparently she said that she is not going to accept her current age, which is 43, because of prison and COVID, it has run the clock back on her age. And so she's claiming that she's 35 right now because of losing 7 years, 8 years. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. This jumped out at me because it was my birthday and I was thinking about my age and all of that. And I was just like, why does it matter? I get that you've lost time. We all lost time during COVID or during COVID. We all lost time the last few years. That is a given. And I'm obviously going to prison means that you lose a significant amount of time. But why don't you just like live life and move forward? This need to hang on to the age you were just doesn't really make sense to me. It was a little confusing to me. Like, I get it. I understand, like, oh, I need a do-over, or oh, this like didn't go the way that I wanted it to go. But outside of that, it's like, but girl, you seem to be living a pretty decent life at this point. So embrace your life, embrace your age. Don't go backwards. Going backwards, I feel like when people try to go backwards, they miss what's in front of them. And Remy is someone who, again, is living a pretty decent life. She has her children, she has her husband, she has her career. And she's just, I don't know, she has always seemed like a down-to-earth, dope chick, you know, outside of the legal, the shit she did back in the day, right? Since she's come out of prison, she doesn't really seem like somebody who is out to make trouble or someone who is looking to, you know, live an unpleasant life. It seems like she keeps a lot of positivity around her, and she's just trying to live her life. She's trying to be a mom, she's trying to be a wife, she's trying to be, you know, a businesswoman and all of that. And I respect that. But girl, just keep moving forward. You are in a good spot. All of that is behind you, and it's fine. You lost those years, and I get that, but move forward. Embrace moving forward. There's so much good that can come from moving forward. So that's my little message to Remy Ma, because I really didn't understand that. And like I said, I guess I was in a mood of I'm reflecting on my own stuff right now. So I'm, you know, but you know who hasn't been positive though? And I wasn't sure if I wanted to talk about this, but I feel like I should talk about this. So Chika, I don't really know a lot about Chika. I know Chika makes music, and I know that Chika models, right? I follow Chika because I used to listen to a podcast, and she was interviewed on the podcast a few years ago. And then, I don't know, I don't remember. I must have heard her say something or something like that, and I decided that I was interested in more content from this person. So I started following on Twitter. And, you know, occasionally I would see certain comments and things and whatnot. I don't really go on Twitter too much anyway, so don't really pay attention. I happened to go on Twitter last week, though, where Chika went on and made these heinous, and I mean heinous, comments about some kids and a woman who was on a plane that she was on, and she said some really foul shit about the person she thought was the mother and about the kids themselves. I don't know, I guess maybe the kids were making noise and whatever, and the things that children do on the plane. She had an issue with the fact that they were flying first class. it was bad. It was bad. I didn't document anything that was said. I honestly don't want to repeat it here. You can go look for that. It's out there. What I found interesting was two things. It turns out that, so people responded, people reacted to it, and people were like, yo, what the fuck are you doing right now? Like, why are you're talking about children, you're talking about this person you don't know, this adult you don't know. Like, what really is the problem? Like, this is too much. I've heard a lot of takes on it. Some people are really angry at her. Some people are like, well, you know, you can't excuse the behavior, but she has mental health issues and maybe something triggered her and this is how it manifests itself. So that was interesting. And the reason it was interesting is because she then came out, I think she apologized. Well, she then came out and said, actually, I don't understand. Have y'all never been on a plane with kids and been annoyed? Me, have been on a plane with kids and been annoyed. I have been on a plane with a child behind me who kept kicking the back of my seat. Now, two things. I love children. I do. I don't know if people know that. I love kids. And that shit was irritating to me. Okay? Because there's a difference between a child sitting quietly on a plane and the one who yells and kicks and screams and kicks the back of someone's chair and throws things and all of that. That is frustrating. That would be frustrating for anyone. I have never had the desire to call those children out of their name, to call their parents out of their name, anything crazy like that. I've just never had the desire to do that. So I don't know what state of mind Chika was in, but I have never in my life, as many times as I have been irritated on an airplane by children, I have never had the desire to speak about them and their parents in the way that she did. Just haven't. But that's just me. That's just me. Like I said, if mental health is a part of this, some things need to be addressed here. The other thing that was interesting is that we learned through the internet that Zanique, T.I. and Tiny's eldest daughter, Zanique was the mother of the children. However, Zanique was not on the plane. It was, I believe, her aunt. I might be messing that up. Or it was the children's aunt who was flying with them, and she was also flying with her child. What a small world it is, because I would have been embarrassed to be on the plane and and put this stuff on the internet and then find out after the internet comes for me that this is T.I. and Tiny's grandbabies. That would have just been a little weird. Now, the other thing that I was gonna say before that I don't think I said was that Chika comes out and says, y'all don't understand? Y'all don't get it? I said what I said. Just because y'all don't like the way I said it, it doesn't mean I can't say it. People obviously came back and was like, yo, yeah, it does mean you can't say it, because this is bizarre. Like, why would you say this? I think she eventually comes out and apologizes, but to get there was very tricky. I don't really know what to do with this information. I don't even really know why I'm talking about it. This is not usually my normal cup of tea, but it was just interesting to me. The perspectives about how we should react to this was particularly interesting to me. I spoke with a friend the other day and I said, you know, did you hear about this situation? They said, yeah. And then I gave the take about mental health, because someone who is in the is in the therapy field pointed out that just because you yourself may not experience mental health issues in a way that manifests itself in that way doesn't mean that other people don't. And it's really hard for people to reconcile that or to be compassionate towards that. And so I was talking to a friend and they were like, well, yeah, I don't think that's an excuse. I mean, you can't walk around and just say or do whatever you want to do. I'm conflicted about it. I do think that in this day and age, because mental health trends, that sometimes you end up stumbling upon stories where people use mental health to leverage support, or curry favor with the public. But I think that can be dangerous because that's not always the case. And I don't want to get into the habit of saying, no, that's not what it is, when someone is indeed crying out for help. So I'm very conflicted about this. I don't support what was said in any way, just so we're clear. I don't think there is ever a time to speak about children in that way. But I just hope everybody who was involved in the situation is good. And I do encourage anybody who is feeling a strong sense of anger or feeling anxiety or depression or anything like that to seek out resources, so that it doesn't get to that point. And to be honest, sometimes it gets to that point before you can seek out help. So all of it is very complicated. And like I said, I wish everybody well, and I hope that, lessons were learned here. And I hope that whoever does need help in the situation dealing with the aftermath of this gets help. That is what I'll say about that. Aside from that, I guess we could get into what I'm watching. So first, what I want to watch. Tiny Desk. There are 2 new Tiny Desks dropped in the last week. Now, I don't watch every single Tiny Desk. I'm kind of up and down with Tiny Desk. Y'all know I've watched the Usher's Tiny Desk a million times, and it is still just ingrained in my mind, okay? One thing I was mad at Usher for is that he let the audience sing the intro to Superstar. Usher. First of all, I hate when artists get on the stage and have the crowd sing their music too much. No, because I'm here to hear you sing your music. I don't give a fuck about them. I'm here to hear you sing your music. But that stressed me out. I was like, so you're not gonna do it? You're not gonna do I'm not gonna do it. You're not gonna, the thing that Eric Bellinger does slightly better than Usher. I was like, really? You're not gonna do this, Usher? But okay. It's fine. But yeah, so Charlie Wilson and Babyface both did Tiny Desk. And I want to see it. So I'm going to watch those. I haven't watched them yet, But I'm really excited to see them. I don't know how it could go wrong. I see Tank is one of Babyface's background singers for this. So I'm like, how could this go wrong? Yo, Tank could also do that Superstar. I would love to hear Tank sing Superstar. Do y'all remember Please Don't Go? I think about that song a lot. Tank has a beautiful voice. Beautiful voice. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. So Tiny Desk came out. I will watch that and I'll report back on the next episode. I just haven't seen them yet, so there's not much for me to say. I haven't been watching a whole lot of television. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot. I went to see The Little Mermaid. I was not going to talk about that. Okay, we'll talk about that in a second. First, I'll talk about the fact that I watched the movie 1001. A few weeks back, a couple months back, I mentioned that Tiana Taylor was going to be in a movie, and I kept forgetting what the title of the movie was. It was called 1001. I did not go to the theater to see it. It came out, I think, on Peacock, and I was like, okay, I'm going to watch this. I had some time. It was a Friday night. I didn't have plans. I said, I'm just gonna sit here with a glass of wine, and I'm gonna watch it. I needed something else, something stronger than that glass of wine. Now the movie starts out okay, and I'm not gonna spoil it because maybe y'all are interested in seeing it. The movie starts out okay, but in the last, I don't know, 10 minutes of the movie, maybe even the last 5 minutes, I was like, but what? Really? This is it? This is the where this is where it culminates. And then the very last scene, the final scene, I just didn't understand it. I'm just not totally sure what it was supposed to mean. There's this moment where Tiana Taylor's character looks up at the camera, and the face she makes is just confusing with respect to everything that happened up to that point. And I don't understand. So if anybody saw this movie and knows and understands and it made sense to you, hit me up and let me know. Because I don't know what the fuck. I don't know. I felt like I wasted my time, if I'm being honest. Now, Tiana Taylor, as an actress, I like seeing Tiana Taylor act. Now, what I would like to see is for her to play a different type of role. Because my concern is that in some ways she's playing herself. Like, the character is obviously not her, but the persona, to me, is very much similar. And sometimes that happens and we think a person can act and then you see them do something else and you're like, maybe not. So I'm curious to see what else she does in terms of acting, but good luck to you if you're interested in the movie. I mean, it's interesting. I just was disappointed. I was disappointed, but that's just me. Maybe you'll like it. I don't know. The other thing that I just finished watching was the Ultimatum Queer Love. I also spoke about that, and I'll let y'all know that I was going to watch that. It was great. It was just as juicy as the Ultimatum. I mean, I expected it to be. I just feel like you put people in this situation and it's gonna be some mess. And there was mess. And it was very juicy. I won't spoil it because the finale just came out not even a week ago. But what I will say, okay, let's talk about one of the characters in particular, Mal. Mal is black. Mal has taken people by storm, okay? I have had straight women telling me that, listen, under the right circumstances, I would be with Mal. Go Mal. Mal is going to be just fine. I won't say what happens or how it happens, but I see Mal's face popping up everywhere now. I'm seeing Mal do all kinds of interviews and promo, and Netflix really seems to have propped Mal up, which I enjoy. Being the black person on the cast, I'm really excited. I think Mal is flawed, but I think Mal is a great person. Mal is a great person. Mal is a great communicator. Mal went into this situation like, listen, we're here. This may not have been the thing that I wanted to do, because Mal wasn't the one who gave the ultimatum. Mal was issued an ultimatum. Mal was like, this may not have been the thing that I wanted to do, but have your experience and I'm gonna have mine. But throughout the experience, Mal made sure that she stayed true to who she was and what she wanted. She never deviated from that. And I just feel like Mal's gonna be okay. Mal is good because Mal is a good person. Some people, you can just see them when they're being genuine and they're being true to who they are. And I feel like Mal is one of those people. It wasn't hard to see. And like I said, Mal is a great communicator. At the very least, Mal may not be perfect and Mal may not do the dishes when she's supposed to, but Mal was really like, all right, so let's have a conversation about what's going on. And I'm not really happy about it, but I understand and I know that this is what we're doing. And Mal is like, tell me what you need. I want to give you what you need. So let's talk about what it is that you need from me so that I can deliver that to you. I said, listen, I can't. Hey. So really interesting show, really interesting couples. There's also some abusive behaviors exhibited on the show. And off the show, actually, once you get to the reunion, there's conversation of some abusive behavior. And I think we gotta address the fact that Netflix kind of glazed over it. And Netflix did not, at no point, anyone involved in on the show acknowledged the behavior as abusive. In fact, it seemed like they shied away from it and avoided it. And that bothered me, because if a man got up there a man couldn't even get up there and admit to abuse and just sit there and no one have a reaction to it. It's impossible to do. And that's how it should be across the board. Abuse is abuse, whether you identify as a man, a woman, non-binary. It doesn't matter who you are. Abusive behavior is unacceptable. It's always going to be unacceptable. And I felt like Netflix was kind of irresponsible about it. I feel like the cast was kind of irresponsible about it. I feel like everybody in the situation had a responsibility to acknowledge what was happening there. And in fact,
I totally forgot to mention that Nick and Vanessa Lachey are no longer hosting. Well, they're not hosting this version of Ultimatum. Apparently, they're still hosting the original. But Joanna Garcia Swisher is the host, and she's pretty terrible also. She's boring. Like, there was nothing interesting about this. Where is Nina Parker when you need her?
There was a cast member who was defending the person with those behaviors. It was a little strange, but that person is also not a credible anything, so it's fine. But that's what I've been watching lately. That's really all I got for y'all. I'm gonna be honest, I wrote down everything in my notebook except for tweet of the week, and I know I have one. I know I have one. I've been saving some up, but there is no tweet of the week this week because if I take down my phone, I don't need to explain the whole setup to y'all. Just know that there should have been a tweet of the week and there isn't one. Maybe I'll do 2 next week or later this week, but I'm happy y'all came back. And I will see you later this week. Bye.